Hi, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Sorry I'm a bit delayed. I um, don't know how to go live on my phone. So I'm here on my webcam, but hopefully it's all good. So this is the first time I've ever done a live energy healing over YouTube, but I thought it was a really great day because the energies are kind of wacky out there. We're all having to contain ourselves a little bit in our emotions, and it is a very emotional weekend, I think, and also a very dreamy weekend. So it's the perfect time to do some energy healing, and it's just going to try out this YouTube platform. And basically, you can just follow along the instructions, or you can just receive. So that's all you have to do. If you don't really have to do anything at all other than just focus your attention on your intention and what you want to heal, or if you have nothing specific, then that's fine too, because I'm just going to no, not fussy, um, not going to use anything other than just my own intention and my healing abilities, and to generate healing out there to you. So thanks so much for tuning in. And the best way to receive healing is just to be in a comfortable position. So if there's anything tight around your neck or your waist or your feet, or if you're uncomfortable in any way, just get yourself into a comfortable position. And if you want to say something, if you have any questions, then please go ahead and use the chat box. I think I'm going to be able to see it. So, you know, YouTube is a learning process, it's a learning curve. And so basically, what I'm using is a combination of reiki, Barbara Brennan hands of light, and prana healing, which um, I'm not certified in any of these modalities, but I have learned them when I was about 4 years ago. I started getting um, very tingling, enlarged feeling in my hands. And it's actually happening right now that I'm talking about it, but it was like this activation of energy where I started feeling like I wanted to place my hands on people. Like I wanted to place my hands on people for the purpose of healing. And of course, I've been a naturopath for a long time, since 2002 was when I graduated. So I've been seeing people in my practice, nutrition and acupuncture and all sorts of modalities, but I was really not a believer of energy work. I really wasn't. I mean, I had the opportunity to study Reiki and everything, and I just didn't really think it was scientific. I really didn't believe it, even though. So it was all really about the science of alternative medicine as opposed to the spiritual aspect of alternative medicine. But the more I've grown in my practice and in my own self and having my own awakening, and then also starting to get these physical symptoms and this urge to put my hands on people. And then the ability that when I realized that I have the ability to do it with groups and I have the ability to do it through different channels, then it's actually really just an amazing kind of epiphany and opening up of my beliefs about myself and as a healer, and about the world, and how we can all heal ourselves as well. And so um, this is thoroughly my mission, is to help you heal yourself, because I do believe in this new world that human beings are ascending and that the world is getting better, not worse, and that it's we, the healers, who have come through this process, who have the ability to make this massive and drastic change. And if you are in the receptive mode, that you want to receive healing, then it is here for you. It is free. It requires an intention. It requires a tuning in. It requires a willingness to receive, to exchange, and to recognize that the exchange of energy is not only something that we experience, that turns us off or on to people, but that's also can go much more deep therapeutically. And, so many people talk about guides and all this, and um, I don't think that guides are necessary. I think that we as human beings have everything that we need, and how much of God that encompasses. I mean, God is everywhere, so there's no separation between, us and God in that perspective. But if we have any aids or, entities that are helping us, then they can just be there. That's not something that I necessarily use all the time, although sometimes I felt like I have downloaded information. But I feel like we as human beings, there's so much energy in between us. And all we have to do is really kind of tap in or be aware of that frequency. And we can make these massive healing exchanges upon each other. And just the same thing as when you realize how good you feel being around somebody, you also realize that how bad you feel being around somebody else. And that's the beginning of it. And to put yourself in environments where you feel good being around the people that you surround yourself with, especially, every day for the majority of the day, if you can. I mean, that's difficult sometimes if you're working a 9 to 5. But for me personally, that's also why I don't work 9 to 5, because uh, it's, it's, I want to be able to be a little bit more fluid with who I come in contact with, and not put myself in, you know, potentially toxic situations just because I have to make a paycheck or something. So I think that it depends on how you prioritize your life as to whether you can do that or not. And certainly, you can't just snap your fingers and make that happen. But that is something to prioritize yourself, especially if you're somebody who is, exhausted or drained or feeling like too much energy is being zapped from you as opposed to receiving energy. And so I hope you can feel, I wonder if you can. If you want to let me know, that's great. Or if you want to let me know afterwards, that's fine too. But right now, the only thing that's happening is that I've set an intention to generate very positive and healing energy to anybody who's willing to receive it at this moment. And I've also got one of my patients in mind. And so whether she's watching or not, um, she's also receiving. I'm directing healing towards her. And anybody who is listening, whether it's now in the present live or whether it's afterwards, you are welcome to receive this energy. And what I'm feeling now is a very kind of hot and swollen sensation in my hands. And it's making me warm everywhere. And so that I know that you know, I know that there's energy, like I can play with energy, as if it's physical matter, and yet it's not. It just looks like air, right? It doesn't look like anything. And if I visualize it, which I can visualize it, if I kind of look through my third eye, then I can see it as colors, or I can see some motion, like I can see some pink and I can see some purple, and then it kind of swirls around, and I can see green and I can see light, I can see yellow and white, and I can kind of push it to you. Um, I could push it physically, but I don't need to. I actually just can hold this and you can receive it. And I'm speaking in a very kind of low and monotone voice, um, to kind of bring that healing vibration more, to stay in to create a mood. But I'm being affected by that hopefully you're being affected by that. The intention is that you're being affected by that, but I'm also being affected by it. So it is two-way. As far as what energy I'm using, I'm just using the energy that's available to me. I actually think that I'm using the energy generated from my computer, and I'm using energy that's being given to me. I'm not using my own energy, except for um, I'm not using my own energy. But I am curating the energy, let's say, because I'm curating it with intention, with positivity, with love, that you are receiving something healing for you. And if you want to play music that's healing, or binaural beats, or create a more relaxing atmosphere for yourself, then you can do this. And I don't know how long this is going to be. It's going to be just until I feel like it's done. And thank you so much for tuning in. I see that I have a few people and a couple of likes, and so I really appreciate that. Um, there's so much energy to be transmuted. There's there's so much energy, and every bit of energy that there is in the world that can be perceived as negative can be transmuted as positive. And I am not a quantum physicist. I mean, I would like to think that I'm a scientist because I've studied so much of it, but quantum physics I can conceptually understand and believe in, but not, I don't know the actual details of it. And we can work with energy in so many different ways, just offering, just me offering you good energy, healing energy, and you receiving that energy is one way. I've certainly worked with energy in the past with homeopathy. Homeopathy is energetic medicine, and when it works amazing. Homeopathy is a very complicated therapeutic modality, actually, because there's so many different remedies, and you really have to align the symptom picture with the remedy picture, and with the symptom picture of the patient to the remedy picture, and there's a lot of overlap in symptoms. But homeopathy works on babies, it works on dogs, it works on women who are in labor. So it works on people who are kind of beyond placebo, are not really open for the placebo experience as much. And this kind of like hands on, hands of light energy work, part of it is belief. There's always a placebo aspect to healing, and that's amazing, guys. Placebo is the power of belief, the power of intention, and intention is different than placebo. But the power of the willingness to get better and to heal and to believe that you can, and the power of the practitioner or whoever is offering the therapy, the power of their belief in what they're doing is immense. And so I've always thought, well, if placebo is 50%, like 50-50, why take something that's toxic? Why not just try non-toxic things? Now, of course, it depends on your level of this is where it all comes down to. It depends on your belief. It depends on your risk tolerance. It depends on your fear factor. It depends on the extremeness of the condition that you're suffering, how life-threatening it is, how acute it is, how urgent it is. But it really depends on your, I don't know to what extent it depends on your belief. But if placebo is 50%, that's good. That's a lot. 50% is a lot. 50% chance that nothing is going to work, just the fact that you believe that you're going to get better. And you can ramp that up by finding healers or therapists that you trust, that you believe in. But then you also have to, people do have to make change. If you know the book Radical Remission, which is an amazing concept by a PhD doctor, Natasha Turner. I always get her name wrong. But anyway, Radical Remission, she cites, she studied people who have advanced cancer, who have a bad prognosis, who get better even though they shouldn't. And there were nine factors that all the people that she interviewed shared as to why they might have gotten better. They're either doing medical treatment, conventional medical treatment, and then added alternatives, or they had tried medical treatment, it didn't work, so they added an alternative, or they just didn't want medical treatment and they tried alternatives. And it all involved participation of the individual. So participation of the individual is really important, and not just doing what your doctor says. Doing what your doctor says, even the kind of doctor that I am, just doing what I say. If I say to change your diet and you change your diet, then that can definitely have some positive effects. But if you believe in what you're doing and take it further and kind of own that, then that has a lot better outcome, because then you start to heal yourself. And that is the most powerful thing, when you activate your own healing ability. Then the practitioner or the therapy or the doctor or whatever, or even the treatment, is only acting like a spark to ignite your healing process. And I do believe that's possible for everybody. But radical remission, it was radical changes that people were making in their mindset, in their belief, in their participation in their own healing, in their diet, using herbs and supplements, having a life purpose, a will to live. Very important to have a will to live. Very, very important. Could be one of the most important things. So when you're receiving energy, sometimes you can feel nothing is possible, or you can feel relaxed. You can feel like at peace, or a sense of calm. You can feel like dreamy or sleepy, or like that dreamscape state between sleep and wake, kind of a hypnotic state or in trance. And the way that I'm speaking is facilitating that. I do hypnosis. And more, I appreciate the power of hypnosis. I've been doing it on people since 2006. And I started doing it on pregnant women so that they could use a natural form of pain relief during childbirth. And it works very, very well for some people, not everybody. But then I found I didn't really progress in my ability to hypnotize. I could always hypnotize people, but I didn't really trust the extent of the therapy until I studied with Brian Weiss, who does regressions and progressions. And then once I studied with him, then I realized how deep of an impact it can have on people. It can take people to a whole other state now, where they're able to read their Akashic records or able to visit past lives or able to visit times in their childhood which were crux, landmark moments, and even progressions, being able to see themselves in the future or lifetimes in the future. I had a patient who met her deceased baby kind of in the atmosphere and became very resolved on that her baby was at peace and actually had a job to do to protect her other children who were grown. But her baby, her deceased baby who had died 20 years past, was protecting her other his brother. And that was enough for her to really heal from longing for this baby and feeling like this baby had left her and that she couldn't touch this baby. And the fact that they met in space was very important because it was like a neutral ground and a foreign ground, but also a place where she was visiting the baby instead of the baby coming to her. It's very interesting. And hypnosis is all about the power of the mind. There's 99% of our brain that we don't use, right? They say we only use 1% of our brain, of our capabilities as human beings. And much of our intelligence and our ability to be more intelligent is found in our unconscious state. Because in our conscious state, we're very distracted. We can only think about one or two things at a time. Well, actually, it's five plus or minus two things. So 3 to 7 things at a time. Whereas our unconscious holds all of our thoughts and opinions and belief systems about our world and our ability to either change or not change our world. And the therapeutic aspect of hypnosis, as opposed to what people think as just, a show or something like that. The therapeutic aspect of hypnosis is that we can actually plumb our own psyche and make deep decisions. And that's very energetic. It's psychological, but it's emotional and it taps in. People can make immediate changes and shifts. So other things you might be feeling are you might be feeling heat, you might be feeling motion. I don't really consider myself a psychic. I I have psychic abilities in some way. I'm intuitive. I definitely consider myself an intuitive. I definitely know that I'm an empath. I can feel pain. I can feel others' pain. And I do know that I'm a healer. I'm going to start a series on educating people on naturopathic medicine, but also my journey has been from, I was a healer when I was a kid and I didn't know it and I blocked it. And then I had massive awakenings when I was in my early 20s because I got into a series of accidents where I would say I had 3 near-death experiences, as well as a very close brush with cancer. And that's all how I found naturopathic medicine. And then from being dedicated to the science of naturopathic medicine for 13 to 15 years, or through school as well, probably, only to realize a few years ago that, oh, I'm a healer. And I think that everybody has this ability. So I'm going to create a series. It's going to be just short videos, a couple minutes. Let me know what you think about it. teaching naturopathic medicine to you for the purpose of self healing. The goal of it is to help you kind of form new thoughts about how you can intervene in your own health and trust that so that you're equipped with knowledge and philosophy, science, as well as the non-science part, the art part, which is really important. And as a goal for yourself today, if you feel yourself to be in a new state of relaxation or peace or bliss, then that's great. That's a new if that's a new state or you've discovered a new way to get there. This has helped you at all. Please let me know, and also just that's enough. And the more you go to that state, then there's a gradual healing process that occurs over time. It's kind of about learning how to get there, just finding yourself there. Because being in that state, reduces all your stress chemicals and so that your body can position itself in a place of healing, shifts you out of that fight or flight that so many of us are in for so much of the time. And it creates new pathways so that you can go there to this parasympathetic state of relaxation. And the more you can go there, the more your body has an opportunity to heal. Energy work can affect, circulation and swelling, inflammation, pain, stress, negative thinking, viruses and bacteria. And also an opening of like a portal so that you can know yourself in a more elemental way, like, open up your connection to source, God. And so now what's happening with me is that I'm feeling like I'm at that place of the runner's high. It's extremely relaxing. And like, even though I've been holding my hands up like this for about 25 minutes or something, I feel like they could just remain like this, like it's like a runner's high. Last week I was dancing at Daybreaker, which is this 7 a.m. dance party, like a sober, drug-free dance party that happens in the morning. And I started doing reiki on the crowd, just like this. I was dancing, and the vibration in the room elevated so much. And I was there with my friend Glendy, and she's a prana healer, and she does crystal work too. And so the two of us were like changing the vibration, doing this healing while we were dancing. It was absolutely amazing. I've done other types of healing. I've done it for UN delegates in a group setting as well as a one-on-one. UN delegates have a lot of stress, and they've really petitioned for change and for specific causes and groups of people, sex trafficking, child trafficking, all sorts of facing very serious and toxic kind of entities and challenges. I've also done it at other parties, conscious family dinner parties. I did a group healing. That was really fun. I've done it in hospitals, energy, for patients who are in hospitals, or just I've been at a hospital visiting and my grandmother, done it on her, done it on other people who are in the hospital. And one of the most important things is that if this starts happening to you, if you start experiencing these, signs that you're a healer, don't mistake them for illness. If you start experiencing numbness and tingling, and you go to the doctor and there's nothing wrong with you, and it's if you believe you're sick, then that can block you from knowing you're a healer. So, I'm speaking very generally, and of course, some people are sick, and so if you are sick, you are sick. But also, just because you're experiencing symptoms doesn't mean you're sick, because it could be a call to the fact that you're developing healing capabilities. And you can play with it. When I first started getting these symptoms, and I think because I was already working, and I'd already received lots of energy work, and I was already working in a very kind of energy focused healing center. I'd worked at a couple of them in New York. And so when I started getting the symptoms, I really knew, and I had such the urge to like lay my hands on myself, and it felt very good. And then I just had the urge to do it to patients. But if it's new to you and you don't know what to expect, then it could be confusing. And the symptoms themselves, they lessen as you are able to understand and trust yourself and know what you're offering. The zappy, even the homunculus. I don't know if you know that, but it's like a depiction of the nerve centers. It's a depiction of the human body proportion to where the nerve centers are, and so the hands and the homunculus are absolutely huge. So you can look that up if you want to see it, but that's what it felt like to me, that I had homunculus hands. And anytime you're activating energy, they feel, your hands feel searching for the word. They do feel activated. They feel almost like invisible. Um, they don't feel just part of your body anymore. They feel hot and swollen and maybe sweaty, and but it's a cool feeling. It's if you accept it and understand it, it's very cool. It's awesome. Feels powerful. And I think we all have this ability, some ability. We all have some ability. We all have the ability to heal ourselves. It's kind of finding what that is for you. And some people have been through a lot, like lived in toxic environments, war-torn, chemicals all around them, whether it was active war, people who grew up in areas where they used heavy metals, radioactive isotopes, things like that. And so then they grew up eating that, drinking that water and eating that food from that area, or just, and children are never well. Part of it's the food supply, but there's also in some areas, of course, Chernobyl, Fukushima, but even areas of Germany and England where a lot of the fighting happened, and I'm sure there's other areas in the world that have had chemical warfare. Children are getting nosebleeds and cancers and autoimmune diseases, and everybody has autoimmune diseases and all this. There can be a lot of detox necessary, and just detox over time, and that can also change belief systems about oneself. And so it's always the work to heal our psychic selves, emotional selves, belief systems, while we're also healing our physical self. It all has to go together. Because if you just heal your physical self, if you just change your diet and you still believe something, you're not worthy, or you're don't belong here, or something, if you have these you're not deserving, or if you're unloved, or these strong uh, destructive thoughts, beliefs that so many of us kind of carry with us. If you have that deep-seated core belief, even if you change your diet, you're probably still going to be sick. Like, the symptoms are going to come back, and I see that, and that's why I stopped working with people who aren't willing or don't see themselves as a spiritual being, because it doesn't offer as much opportunity for improvement. And I really like to work with the mind, body, spirit, not just the body, and not just the mind, body. And I enjoy working with the mind too, but there has to be that last component. So if you just joined, basically I am just sending healing vibes, healing energy, an energy session, just speaking in a very relaxed, trance-like voice. So my thoughts about healing and self-healing, I'm not using my own energy so much as I'm using energy that's available for me. And the energy that's available for me right now is the energy from my computer and from the atmosphere, and that's coming down. So I can see a ray of energy coming down for me to hold and project. And as a recipient of energy, all you need to do is be in a comfortable position and allow yourself to receive. And my mind is opened all the way up so that I don't need to know you or know who you are. I'm just sending the energy, and the energy is being transmuted. So the intention of healing energy, positive energy, that I'm intentioning and sending so that you can receive it wherever you need it, or just generally like a blanket. And then you also have the opportunity to direct it for yourself or just passively receive it. You might feel relaxed. You might feel like there's balancing going on. You might feel like sleepy or dreamlike. You might have memories or epiphanies. So it's just to put your thoughts down and not think too hard or analyze, but just you can notice or you can just receive. And that's even better. We've been going for about 45 minutes. I'm just going to go until I feel like done. So if you lie down or sit down, as long as you're in a comfortable place, adjust yourself so that you can be even more comfortable. If you want some relaxing music on, meditation or classical or beats, if you wanted to put a diffuser on, smell some essential oils, all of these can, look at a plant in your room, close your eyes, putting yourself in the environment whereby you can be really relaxed. That's the key to receiving good energy session, especially when it's at a distance like this. This is definitely the first time I've ever done an energy session like this on YouTube or on screen. So thank you so much for joining me. I would love to hear your comments, what you experienced. If you don't need to do it now, you can wait until the end of the session. But you're having a successful energy session if it feels good. And that's both the giver and the receiver. And it is a bi-directional exchange to some extent. I mean, I'm not psychic. I don't know who's out there. I'm getting little flashes of ankles and knuckles and lymphatic fluid circulation. So I'm just directing energy there. I see colors in some cases. So maybe there's a turquoise color that's meant for somebody, and a magenta color that's meant for somebody, and a yellow color, bright white light, bright white lights, bright gold lights, healing green energy, healing pink light, healing blue light. These are always therapeutic colors. You can imagine those colors sprinkling down upon you and surrounding you, enveloping you in a healing blanket. When you yawn and sigh and exhale, have that release, then the nervous system is rebalancing. So that's also good. If you notice that, otherwise you just breathe normal and just make sure you're breathing. Your breath is recycling your energy all the time. And you can tell that an energy session is over for you if you suddenly feel energized, or like you were receiving the I want to say information, you were receiving the energy, and then now it's just kind of done. It feels done. Um, but also, if you go to sleep or relax or rest, make sure you drink water today. You engage in fluid movements like walking, or just doing some lounging. If you've got to get on and do something busy, then that's okay too. But it's better if you can allow yourself to naturally ease out of it. You might notice that you sleep very well tonight. You might notice that you've come in contact with this relaxed state of being for yourself. Being facilitated into an energy session is like being shown a tunnel to a place where you can go. It's almost like a body memory, except there's no moves. You can't think yourself there. It's not a thinking process, but it's a change of state. And the more you go there, the more you know how to go there very quickly. so that you can relax your entire being. You can relax your entire body, change your entire state of hormones and neurotransmitters and natural pain receptors. You can stimulate your natural enkephalins and endorphins and opiate receptors. Endocannabinoid system, guys. You can stimulate it without CBD. I have nothing against CBD, but you can stimulate your natural pain receptors just by entering into a blissful state like this with a few minutes of energy. I think I'm going to wrap it up. I hope you've enjoyed it. I really have enjoyed it. And I'll probably do it again. So please like, subscribe, share, leave your comments. Thank you so much for being here. If you can, and if you feel like extending this, then I think you can replay it, or you just hang where you are. Stay there for as long as you feel like you need to, for as long as you can relax, ride it out, have a little nap. Thanks for the comment, Jason. Have a wonderful day.